Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to take class on the poem The Fishmonger, written by the famous poet S. Joseph. I would like to call this poem as a tribute to certain invisible, nameless, and faceless folks who are unrepresented by the mainstream writings. S. Joseph hails from Kottayam district in Kerala, who started writing at a young age of 16 years. And his first collection of poems, Karuthakallu, won the Kerala Sahitya Akademi Kanakashri Award. Meengaran or Fishmonger was his second book, which received notable attention among Malayalam readers. And his third book was Identity Card. His fourth collection of poems is Uppante Kooval Varakkunnu, for which he received Kerala Sahitya Akademi Award in the year 2012. And his another notable work is Chandranodapam, for which he received the prestigious Odakudal Award in the year 2015. We all know Odakudal Award is an annual literary award given to commemorate the Jnanapid Award won by Malayalam poet G. Shankarakurupu. S. Joseph has also published a novel titled Pulariyile Moonu Thengugal. Now, talking about the characteristics of S. Joseph as a poet, he wrote in ordinary language, but loaded with heavy meanings. For example, let's look at a few lines taken from his poem Identity Card. These days, I never look at a boy and a girl lost in themselves. They will depart after a while. I won't be surprised even if they unite. Their identity cards won't have scribblings in red. Here he speaks about the role of caste in relationships among even the students. And another characteristic is that his poems were influenced by scenic beauties of a rural village. Yet all those poems talks about injustice, violence, oppressions, marginalizations, and so on. Now, if you ask what is his conception of poetry, the easiest way to describe it as he writes about the forgotten people. I quote, traditional poetry achieved its form and meter by forgetting certain experiences and people. That is the mode in which poetry became poetic and prose acquired its genius. Now, poetry is discovering those forgotten people. The prose of their experiences is pushing its way into poetry. I end quote. Says S. Joseph in his 2004 article titled Poetry in Search of a Prose. Now, he's not essentially a votary of any particular movement. That means he did not openly declare himself as part of any particular movement. He says, I have taught and lived among tribal children, fisher people, blacksmiths. My poetry is about them. Today, when I look back, I can see that my poetry is about all these people who are outside the mainstream. So he doesn't want himself to be compartmentalized as a Dalit writer or feminist or an environmentalist. He says, my poetry has been mapped in various ways by critics as ecological, Dalit, and feminist. But I'm writing for everyone. I don't think women's concerns are hers alone, it is the society's. So should be the Dalits' concerns and dreams. All issues, problems are human in the end. This is the main takeaway we need to understand while reading his poems. In his another famous poem called One's Own, he says, I am only a poet of rivulets, a small poet. My own rivulets call out. Here, rivulet stands as a metaphor for the marginalized people. So he believes this is the purpose why he is writing. Now we are moving on to the poem. Originally, the title of this poem is Meengaran. It is translated as The Fishmonger. And this is written in a free verse style from the point of view of first person. This poem is a childhood memory, recalling an event memory from his childhood about a fishmonger, a man who sells fish to make his two ends meet. He is probably the representative of the marginalized section of society. Their miseries are unnoticed by the society. Now, usually in other poems of S. Joseph, say group photo, identity card, my sister's Bible, the speaker himself is the affected person or he has his own story of discrimination. But in this poem, the speaker is speaking for a person who had never voiced himself, who is living in the fringes of Kerala society. In group photo, he writes, "Do you know there is a cursed life that some Malayalis lead all by themselves?" So, this is about one such cursed life who remained anonymous throughout his life to the public. Now, let's move on to the poem. The fishmonger was washing the vessel in the running water of the tiny stream. So, there was a small stream, and a fishmonger was washing his vessels there. The screw pines did not see him. There is a motor workshop where the stream, heading down straight, takes a sharp turn. He didn't see its laterite wall either. Parallel to the stream, to the south and north, the MC road raced away. So the fishmonger was washing his vessels, and suddenly something occurred. And the poet says, the screw pines are plants which resembles like a pineapple plant. So the screw pines did not see him. Also, the stream takes a sharp turn after running straight near a workshop. And the poet continues that the fishmonger didn't see this laterite wall either. So now we get an idea of what actually happened. Yes, the man got drowned. But no one heard his cry, or nobody noticed what happened. Parallel to the stream to the south and north, the MC road raced away. So everybody is busy with their own life. They have no time to see what's happening around. Even if they see, they do not care enough for this man, like a fishmonger. Then, who saw this man? It's we, the children, who saw in the water not even half a foot high the body of the fishmonger lying face down, the vessel, the scale, and weights. Yes, it's we, the children, who first saw him. But the water is not even half a foot high, and there lies the fishmonger. No, the body of the fishmonger. Yes, he is dead. He is lying face down. That means he is in a prone position. Near him lies the vessel, the scale, the weights, things with which he weighs the fish. You can also interpret it in another way that the weights of his life, the burden of his life, which he couldn't leave behind when he was alive, is finally dropped. Maybe the author is trying to say that for a man like a fishmonger, their presence or absence is not at all a matter of concern for the people around. So poor people like him will get to know rest only when they leave this world of suffering. So let's continue. If the water is not even half a foot high, then how did he drown? Epilepsy having twirled him down, water playing about his hair. In the water, the screw pine leaf playing about, stabbing down and raising itself. In the still corner of the stream, water bugs roaming. Epilepsy have twirled him down. Epilepsy is, as you all know, it's a disease affecting the brain where there occurs an excessive electrical discharges in the brain cells, causing seizures. The affected person will suddenly lose his consciousness and other cognitive functions. The very common name we use for epilepsy is fits. So nobody was there at the time to give him any kind of first aid. Now, when the man lies lifeless, everything else was lively. The life around him was still moving. The water was playing with his hair, the screw pine leaves played in the water, and the water bugs, they are the small insects in water, were wandering in still corner of the tiny stream. Now, the next line conveys a shift in time. What one sees reaching that same spot now? A chicken shop, the workshop with plastered walls, the paddy field in the earth. There is no sign of the fishmonger. So, this conveys that this incident happened not yesterday, but decades back when the speaker was a child. So, this becomes an event memory. And now he visits this place again and he sees the change, a chicken shop, workshop with plastered walls, the paddy field in the earth. but there is no sign of the fishmonger. As the Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, change is the only constant. So that is the point the author is trying to make, that everything has changed. Even the laterite walls are cemented now. So things have changed. Change is the only thing that is constant. And also, you can interpret it in another way, that with the change to modern society, you cannot find people doing such jobs like fishmongers, or they are a rare sight to see. So, that was about the poem The Fishmonger. I hope you understood the poem well. Thank you.